All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. You can see the emergency service reports. A lot of time has been spent. And so we want to thank our emergency services as always. And moving into our supervisor section, just want to say a heartfelt thank you to everybody who made the Eldredge 250 block party such a success. It was such a wonderful event. It was such a wonderful celebration of the heritage of our town, our businesses in the Eldred Hamlet district, and all the people who participated. You know, we had great vendors like Blue Space Painting that came out and really made a lot of kids happy. Obviously, you know, the Montfleons never do anything half-assed, to be frank. And I don't know if you guys saw all the wonderful things that Lou and Frank provided on the corner there. They were a wonderful partner for the town of Highland, which had family cards. And I don't know if everybody has seen these before, but these were one of the major inclusions in the initial time capsule. So they were family cards that were erected in 1976, and we were able to salvage all of these. And we have an ongoing show that will go up again when the construction is finished. But each member of the community was given the opportunity to include these family cards in the 1976 time capsule, and we're also doing this again for the 2026 time capsule. And it was really exciting because we were able to give the remnants, about 3/4 of them survived. All the time capsules in Sullivan counties were pretty waterlogged. I'd say ours was probably in the best condition. I know that Coshocton just unveiled theirs and it was all pretty much paper mache. I'm very sorry for their community. But in general, the family cards were the things that were the most salvageable from the time capsules. And so we're offering these again. And I wanted to make a motion to the board. I really just want to extend potential of free family time cards to our senior population. You know, I think this is a really special time. You know, there's been so many wild changes probably from 1976 to 2026. And so we want to make sure to include all the people that make this town great. So I'd like to make a motion to offer the time capsule cards right now are $25 for residents to be included in this. And that's just for production and for laminating the cards, but I want to offer these to our senior population for free. So I was wondering if I have a motion to extend these to all seniors 62 and older for free inclusion into the 2026 time capsule.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
Wait. Tom, and then who?
I'll second it.
Chris. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. All right, get your cards here. The town clerks will help you. Everybody go ahead and pick one of these things up. It really is a nice piece of history. It was, all right, we'll give you a refund. How's that? Yeah, I know we have like three or four refunds to give already, but I know we have a bed free. I know that happens. But these are really special. And what was really great about all these, like Sonia could be a testament to this. Her grandmother wrote her a letter in 1976 that we were able to retrieve and give to everybody. And we gave everybody the remnants of the time capsule because we could stick it in our vault and it would, you know, probably turn into paper mache, but we were able to give the remnants to everybody and their families. I just want to give a special shout out to our outgoing town historian, Deborah Conway, who did a wonderful job along with Diana Morrow. Produced the remnants show. It was really a beautiful experience. You know, Deb first had all these, you know, things drying out in her living room, passed them on to our long-suffering graphic designer, Diana, who then was able to transition them into a digital footprint in a show, which will go live again once we're done when we're done with the renovations in town hall, which are coming along really wonderfully. Hopefully our September meeting will be in there. I see no reason why it wouldn't. So we're really excited about that as well. So everybody else is at $25. We'll laminate them. We are going to be working with the new town historian on a date. We have a tentative date scheduled for the new burial of the 2026 time capsule. And he was sworn in today. So he's not able to be present. He's got some wedding planning to do. But our new town historian is Timothy Oset. So welcome to Timothy Oset. From a wonderful family here in the town of Highland. They had 3 fort cards in the original, they're long standing.
Where's Tom Capsule gonna be buried? Back up at the battlefield?
Back at the battlefield, yes. And so, Tim, I don't know if all of you know this, but he works in, maintenance for the National Park Service. He just returned from Washington DC. And he's about to get married, so I think he had some wedding venue plans today to go look at some, preparations for his wedding with his, bride to be, but, we're really excited to have Tim. So if you see him around town or see him around the parks, please welcome him. We also set our budget hearing meetings at the workshop last Tuesday. So our first budget hearing will be on September 15th at 6 p.m. Followed by September 24th at 6 p.m. And we set our public hearing for October 6th at 6 p.m. And it's a really important time where you get to see what we're spending money on. I addressed this a little bit in the workshop. You know, the county has nuanced, you know, really substantial tax increases that the town cannot really do anything about. You know, the last 2 years, we've stayed under our tax cap. The previous town board also acquired, you know, a credit. So the tax cap, basically, you can go over with an incremental increase in cost of living, which is somewhere around 2%. It's variable. But we've been able to stay under that. So we haven't increased taxes for the last 2 years on behalf of the town. With the county manager nuance, like we may have to increase up to 30%, which is an exit sign, and we'll all call our local realtor and get out of here if that happens, I'm sure. But you know, last year they started at 9% and settled on 3%. So I'm hoping that they don't go, you know, to above and beyond that cost. But you know, there were a lot of things addressed in the comprehensive plan meeting today about revenue streams for the town that I think were actually a really substantive and important discussion. So we should, you know, the town board I know is committed to looking for those opportunities, and we'll strive to do everything we can to bring in the most money without, you know, infringing on anybody as well. But, you know, we've already kind of let everybody know this is going to be a lean year for budgets. We've gotten a lot accomplished over the last 2 years in the way of restorations in buildings and improvements in buildings. So there's not a lot of like big structural things to do. You know, we've been able to reestablish the constabulary based on popular vote. We've done a lot of things for the town that seem to be big, heavy reaches. So I feel like if we take a year off in big monumental projects, unless big monumental opportunities come our way, we'll be in good shape. So thank you to this town board and all your hard work on implementing all of those projects in a big way. The library sale was very successful. I got a rough tally from the treasurer over there. The treasures and trinkets was a wonderful testament to our community. They raised about $7,000 as of now. But we also transported a lot of the remnants to a local antique emporium. So she's getting her tabulations together. So it's 7,000 and rising, which is very exciting. So thank you to all the volunteers. It was really rewarding to talk to. It was really rewarding to talk to the library director and one of the librarians, and they said like a lot of new volunteers showed themselves this past week. And what I thought was really special and amazing is the average median age was about 70, and it was mostly female that showed up with their pickup trucks. And it was amazing. And I think that that's just a testament to both our library and our community that people care. They lend a hand when they need to. And it was a beautiful thing. So
Can I just say thank you to everybody who came and bought?
yes.
Money.
Yeah, thank you. Sharon. Thank you. So our book sale dates are coming up. So the setup is on August 28th. And the sale will be August 29th and 30th. So again, thank you to the library for doing everything they can and being scrappy, selling off books, selling off treasures and trinkets. But they're in a big fundraising swoop. So please, everybody attend August 29th and 30th. Location TBA, we may be at Town Hall, or we may be in this room, but we will we'll talk about it as construction rolls on. Laura was on the radio today. She was on WKFF and did a wonderful job talking about our new monarch pollinator garden. The ribbon cutting will be this Saturday at 9 a.m.
Yep.
So if you're buzzing around, Berryville, you can head on down to the pollinator ribbon cutting at 9 a.m. The majority of that work has been implemented by Mama and Co Garden Company and, Kate Jaxie, who is our 180 Sullivan County, or Sullivan, 180 volunteer and intern this year. She's done an amazing job. Mama and Co is wonderful to work with. And Laura Burrell has been a champion of this project. So thank you very much for all your hard work on that. Do you have anything else you want to include about the ribbon cutting?
If you'd like to participate, every day this week, we're putting plants in. We've mulched the pathways. It's technically Eagle Observation number 2. And so that's right on the edge of the Berryville Mini Sink Ford line, at the base of the towpath that was put in place by the Delaware Company and for the Cape project. And so there was a eagle blind there. It fell into great disrepair. It had to be taken down. And we're using that exact footprint of the eagle blind to put in the monarch butterfly garden. There's an 88% decline of monarch butterflies on the East Coast. And that is extremely tragic. It's millions of butterflies that don't exist. And so we're doing our part to bring them back. You're welcome to come. There's a lot of different people on site helping the Dirt Diva. We have Agway donated plants and vegetation, the Delaware Valley Agway. It's a partnership with the Greater Berryville Chamber of Commerce, and anyone's welcome to come and help or even ask questions. And this will look a little funky the first year. By the second year, things will have taken root, and the third year is really when it's going to shine, and that's when you'll see a larger population of pollinators come to visit. So the ribbon cutting will be at 9 o'clock. I know Kevin Ferguson's coming, photographer to the stars at Bethelwood Center for the Arts, and we'll have some newspapers there. It'll be a really fun morning, and then head on to your, farmer's market visit.
So I got a text about this after your radio interview, and I just wanted to clarify too, the eagle blind was taken down also in consultation with the Eagle Institute and the
Yes.
Delaware Highlands Conservancy. The eagle population is soaring in our area of our upper Delaware River. So like these kind of conservation projects really do work, and we simple humans can affect nature in a bigger way. So thank you for doing that. We also have a dwindling bee population. And so this contributes to that as well. And if you look at all of the indicator signs, wayfinding signs that are at the borders of all the town, we have a new one as you're coming down 97 in Berryville. We have a new one at the Cape Project site at Eagle Observation 2, one on 55, one on Proctor. But the Mama and Co has controlled the planting of that. We were able to hire them with a grant from Sullivan 180. And in those, we've used all native plants. So like what Laura said too, like the gardens look a little funky, but they're kind of growing in and around the signs because of all the rain and steamy conditions. You'll see the plants are really thriving right now. So we will go and trim those down so you can see what town you're in. But yeah, thank you again to Laura for all your hard work on that. And thank you to everybody who wants to lend a hand or just come and enjoy. It's really heartwarming to see everybody using the activity path. If you haven't walked it yet, please take a chance to do so. It basically goes from that Eagle Observation 2, connects to the towpath, the National Park Service historic towpath, right behind the building at Roebling Bridge, and goes onto the parking lot just beyond the Roebling Bridge. It's a really nice walk. It's about it's a mile round trip, and it's really pretty wonderful. And there's little like beach insects there too. Yeah, bring your dog, bring your swimsuit, good time. We have been receiving cleaning service applications, and the clerks are going to be giving tours. You guys have a set date?
The 27th and 28th. So the 26th will be calling the applicants, letting them know, setting up interviews. And then on one of those days, if not both, we will be giving the tours of them.
Okay, and we discussed it at the workshop as well. We're going to go ahead and let the clerks key this because they do a lot of the coordination with the maintenance staff. So they're going to make a probationary hire, and then we'll be swearing in more permanent, ongoing employment or retainer at the September meeting. We're also looking for a new representative for the Upper Delaware Scenic Byway, as well as the planning board and a zoning board alternate. Our long-suffering vice president of or vice chair of the Upper Delaware Scenic Byway has put in 2.5 years of hard work and very long meetings. Thank you to Mike Edison for serving on that board and taking the role of vice chair. It was my first kind of foray into like representing the town in any capacity, and we got a lot done on the board. They're really still kind of where we left it, trying to get the visitor center off the ground in coordination with the California Business Association. But it's an exciting thing. It's an opportunity for our community to promote our hamlet, our town. It's charged with promoting the towns along the byway and businesses along the byway and the natural uses. So if that interests you, please put your name in the hat. You can email me at supervisor@townofhighlandny.com. Same thing for the planning and zoning board alternate positions. One of our longtime serving alternates on the zoning board is moving and will not be a full-time resident anymore. And our planning board alternate just got too busy with her full-time job. So if either one of those positions interest you as well, please email again supervisor@townofhighlandny.com. I'm gonna skip over this because we're waiting for some more information about the reorganization meeting. I believe we may be able to do it the week before, but we will be getting back to everybody. We got a really wonderful proposal. So for those of you who are in the county, it's kind of a rough thing to celebrate, I guess I should say, but it's a great thing to honor. The 20th anniversary of 9/11 is this year. We will be having a ceremony in Heroes Park, and we received a wonderful proposal from this lovely lady and artist, Sylvie. Her husband Joe erected an art show based on 9/11, celebrating the actual buildings. It's more of a celebration, which I really like.
Yes.
It's very optimistic. So
I'd
Sylvie,
love that too.
I'd like to give you the floor.
Maybe pass it along, but we live next to the World Trade Center. And actually on 9/11, we escaped, we came here. But then we went back to New York City, but Joe's been living here for the last 13 years and I still go back and forth. But this is a series of painting he did as like healing.
Yeah.
Things, He happened to have also major health issue. So the doctors told him when he left, he was going to say, look up. And what did he say when he looked up? It was the rebuilding of Tower One. So we decided to illustrate that. And then he was very impressed by an old Japanese painter. Yamaguchi, and it was 100 views of Edo, which is Japan. And he was inspired by that time and said, oh, maybe I'll do 100 paintings. And it took him 10 years, but he finally finished it. And I thought 25 years later, I'd be interested to share that experience for an artist who lived just around the corner. And then when I went on Saturday to the garage sale at the top wall, I was like, oh, there is beautiful white balls. So maybe there will be the opportunity to show it just for one night for the town. And then, but I was thinking also, oh no, they're not going to want me to push people on the beautiful white wall and damage the wall. So I'm also a painter. So my commitment was, I'll put the push behind the painting, but I promise to restore the wall to its original shape, because I don't want to damage the wall. So that's my proposition. And then I believe September event this year is on Friday. And I was like, oh, maybe a lot of people will be out of town, so maybe I can stretch it to Saturday, Friday, Saturday. But whatever is possible, it will be a great honor, to be able to put that show. I was even thinking to ask Noda, because it's not about us, it's about sharing with everybody. And I thought Noda is the art gallery in town. So I thought maybe she wants to contribute, but I didn't have a chance to ask her yet. So something to think about.
Yeah, Noda was one of our great partners in the 250 celebration as well, which was great.
Yes.
And we put it
Yes.
outside and
So
there was a main stage. I do
Yeah.
think we should consult with her, but I do want to give our building
Yes.
department the opportunity to speak to you, but I do want to tout your credentials really quick.
Yes.
Sylvie, for anybody who's in New York and wants a $40 drink at the Carlisle Hotel, can roll in and see, which I did myself. I was like, I have to go see Sylvie's work, but I didn't stand here like a creep, so I'm just I'm running out of here right now. But anyway, Sylvie is a really accomplished scenic painter and did all of these beautiful walls in the Carlisle hotel. What's the actual room called?
It's called a champagne room.
Yeah, the champagne. I set myself up. But yeah, so
Yeah.
she's a really accomplished like scenic artist.
Yeah.
You know, she painted this amazing pattern on the walls and it's.
And we've
Great
been
job.
getting here for 30 years. I mean, I go back and forth, but we did. And if somebody wants to see, I bought 2 paintings in case you want to have a glimpse. They are very little painting. So I thought, you will not take pictures, but anyway, you look at it.
Yeah, well, just because of the nature of the schedule and things, I'd
Yes.
just like to take a vote tonight.
Yes.
But I also want to give the building department the opportunity to ask you questions and specifics about how they would be handling things, this is Tom's project and
Yes.
he put his heart and soul into it, so I want you guys to be able to ask any questions.
When the time comes to hang the pictures, please reach out.
Say that
When
again?
the time comes for you to display your artwork,
Yes.
please reach out and we'll have a discussion on how to do it.
Yeah.
That's all,
Do you
but
know
it's beautiful.
approximately how many cases you have?
It's just hundreds. It's what you see. Hundreds.
Well, we don't
But
have that.
maybe like, I mean, it could be 50, doesn't have to.
Could we
be
do 25 since it's the
It
25th
could be
anniversary?
25. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the book, the concept is to make 100 painting. But it doesn't have to be the 100. But you see, they're very light, very
Yeah.
small. So maybe we can pick the best and then just to show, to share. with them.
I love the idea.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of options for hanging.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I do too.
I love the idea. I think we should keep it up for a month or two because there'll be a lot of activity in town hall with our budget meetings and the public hearing and all that fun stuff. And then there'll be at least a few meetings that people will get to see the work.
That's better than one night.
It's a lot of work for one night. That's a lot of hanging for one night.
We also have our time capsule show going on, but that'll be behind the dais of the town board. So I think we have the space. Do you have any other questions for?
No, not at this time. We'll talk when it comes time for you to display the artwork.
Okay, so do I have a
Thank you.
motion to allow Joseph Bilger to display his 9/11 art show in town hall?
I'll make that motion.
Laura?
We're very good at that. That's exactly.
Chris, Laura,
Chris could be first. Chris could be. Okay.
perfect. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. I did want to put this out to the community. There's a vacancy for a home health aide in the town of Highland. One of our senior residents has done a lot of her own footwork, which we're really proud of her for. She's working with the Office of the Aging and she's carved out a position for 4 hours weekly at $25 an hour. There's a short training class that you have to take with the Office of the Aging for accreditation to be home health aide. But again, it's 4 hours a week, $25 an hour. And it is paid for by the county Office of the Aging. So I just wanted to put that out there. If you or somebody you know has 4 hours a week to give, she's a lovely person. We work with her in different capacities. She's very active in town whenever possible. She lived up here for over 40 years without a vehicle, so that's a testament to her strength and perseverance. But she's a really, really interesting and fun person. So that vacancy is out there. And if there's somebody you know who does need that kind of help as well, the Office for the Aging does extend these type of positions out in general. So if you need more information, please contact me or speak to Joe's local wife, who can give you more information on that as well. We also put it out to targeted community members for our health officials and our pantry. But we still have, I believe, 4 or 5 remaining SNAP vouchers. As you guys may know, there's been a lot of cuts to the federal budget, so the SNAP program at large for seniors coordinating with our farmers market has been reduced greatly. We were given 10 vouchers. So we still have, I think, 4 or 5 left. We're just waiting on somebody's schedule to see if they can pick them up. But they'll be available this Saturday at the information tent at the Berryville Farmers Market. This will enable people to use their vouchers for fresh produce. And the farmers market manager Nancy will administer those to people. So if you are interested in that program, the threshold is very low, I guess, for the median income. So a lot of people are eligible. If you have any questions about SNAP requirements, you can see it on the Office for the Aging website. But if you are interested or would like to nominate somebody, text me, call me, email me, whatever you need, but we only have 10. And I believe 5 are spoken for at this point. So that's all I have. Right, where was the other information? Oh, this is that. Okay, we're good. All right, you're up, Joe Barnes.
All right, well, the agenda, the paving report, the contract paving is all completed. The cost of that was $297,542.57. The speed change request, that was granted, and I'm waiting for Charlie Kocher from the county to install the signs. I've already spoken to him about it, so that's it, that's in the works.
Can you mention our no parking signs on River Road again too? Because he came and took them down because they weren't official. You know, by the green space next to Jules' property.
Yeah.
He came and took them down last summer when we got the rest of the signage up. With the promise that he was gonna come with the New York State official one that looks identical to it, so if he could poke them, maybe they'll put up the damn sign that he took down, we'd love that. Because the residents on River Road are, you know, there is an indicator on the rules of the green space, but we don't want anybody to park their sticks there and, you know, the nuisance people, so if you could mention it, you know,
Okay.
it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
He was nice about it, he definitely. Great. Laura and Frank, can you report on your emergency services meeting?
Sure, we split the meeting with our emergency services responders between 2 days because it's a lot of people's schedules to coordinate. And so first, we'd like to thank the Uland Fire Department and the Highland Lake Fire Department, as well as the Highland Ambulance Services for carving out some time to tell us about their experiences working with campgrounds throughout the town, which was the point of the meeting. We really wanted to do some fact finding and information gathering. There's been incidences, wayfinding issues, communication issues, lighting issues, understanding the layout of the campgrounds and their maps and how they've upgraded and changed. And there are some campgrounds that are held to a higher standard. They're doing an outstanding job, and I think that they lead by example. And they were able to communicate to us who's doing an awesome job and where there's areas to improve upon. And what we'd really like to do is just forge a stronger partnership with our campgrounds, especially the commercial campgrounds in our town, to make sure that when an incident happens, which we hope doesn't, but it, you know, does, that our service providers can get into the affected person as quickly as possible, as seamlessly as possible, and that we know who's going to be on site to help guide those professionals to those spaces, and tighten things up a little bit. So we are going to put a report together for the rest of the board to review, which will be including a call for a end of season meeting. We're going to ask our campground managers to join our emergency service professionals, as well as town board members, anyone who'd like to come at the end of this season. So we're thinking November, maybe after the election and the budget has passed, to really debrief what was this year like. And I think that it would really be a helpful and well-guided conversation to share resources and talk about, you know, implement things that have been implemented that are working really well. And it's something we'd like to continue. And more importantly, we invited our code enforcement team to those meetings so that they could think about when they're going for their annual visit to these commercial entities and they're doing their fire and safety check and walk through, there might be some more things they could look for and offer guidance to in terms of how to protect our guests in those spaces. Anything else? Did I miss?
Covered it.
Okay.
That's about it. Thank you both for the ideation and the actual meetup in general. And yeah, I think it's really important to connect with commercial entities that we, you know, maybe don't have, you know, control over, but we're their resource, like if there is an emergency. So I really appreciate your work and getting everybody together. And I think it's great that you're following up with the campgrounds like in off season too.
At the end of the year,
end the season,
Mhm.
kind of wrap up. Yeah, that'll be nice. That's great. Well, thank you for doing that. Tom, can you please give us an update on the town hall renovation?
Yes, the town hall's coming along fairly well. We're at the trimming and painting stage. I suspect we should be completed by mid-September. That's what we're shooting for, 100%. That would include the conference room as well as the main hall. And if you have a chance, stop in. It's looking really good in there.
Great, thank you so much. Frank, can you please give us an update and present this?
Yep, we put together, Tom and I went over plans and we put together a scope. With a bid package to be submitted to the public. For bids on the various tasks that we're doing at the courthouse. We just had a couple of things to clean up on it, some changes were made, and we're ready to submit and get going with that project.
Yeah, so we hired our architect through the bid process back in January of 2025. We put the bid out and we found a really wonderful architect who used to be a resident and came up here and bid on it. He's been working with us over the last 2 years to really perfect the plans. And then we implemented the reestablishment of the constabulary and he gave us some feedback as well. We've gotten a lot of feedback from the court justices and the court clerk, the long-suffering snake fearing code clerk. So we made sure to put all the remediation for snakes and building inflammation there. You know, it's taken a little bit longer. You guys saw this, the project happened very fast with the commercial kitchen and the renovations in here, same thing with town hall. The courthouse renovation is, combined even larger than all the renovations. It's about all the renovations put together. We have a $250,000 budget to make that courthouse great and also work within the historical accuracies of it. So it's a lot more high stakes and difficult project to sort of like pull the lever on. Especially because we're trying to stay historically accurate. Stucco work is something that's pretty rough. Sherry Chris, thank you for finding our wonderful long-suffering stucco remediators. They've been on the project since the beginning too. They're a really wonderful Polish family. Their son and father duo. Pardon? They're still hanging with us, thank God. Yeah, we met with them after Sherry suggested them in March, I believe, of 2025. And they've come out and talked to every architect, every builder, every proposed, anybody who's been interested or looked at the project. And I think they've come up with a really wonderful plan. So between Larry and those guys, and we also have what's Steve's last name?
Which Steve? Lane.
Steve Lane is a wonderful architect that is moving up here full time. And he's volunteered his services up to this point. We've been able to forego using an engineer because of the professional prowess of Larry and Steve. They've been working in tandem to work out some of these things with AV Stucco. And so we feel really confident that once we put this bid package out, that we'll hopefully find talent that can match everybody we've already included in these projects. So with that, I would like to make a motion to adopt the bid package that was put together and put this up to bid for courthouse renovations. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that.
Okay, do you have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. I also want to move on to our emergency services committees. As we go through the bond process, we basically are starting from ground zero with the constabulary. The town popular vote was that we would reestablish the constabulary. At the time when the previous town board dissolved the constabulary, they moved several vehicles off for a very low amount. Several weapons were given out to the sheriff's department. It was it was kind of a clearinghouse. It was done very rapidly, and we didn't make any money on it. It was almost like a sort of zero in, zero out sort of service. So as we were thinking of reestablishing these things based on popular vote, it was decided that we had to bond this out. And so we spread this out over 5 years. The total bond package was for $240,000. And that was voted on back in May, I believe. And we worked with Green Bank, so we got the lowest interest rate of 3.8%. We have a 5-year payment. And it will be a town cost. But breaking it up over 5 years enables us to get 2 new vehicles upfitted. Jason and Mike have been scrappy, beyond compare for trying to get this thing restarted. You'll notice if you go by the courthouse in Constabulary now that there's a work trailer out there, so we've moved the office functions out of Jason's basement. And it's now has a life. It's getting more real. The vehicles are going to the upfitter. He was able to get equipment from the state troopers within the vehicles, all the printers and computers. Paula Kay was able to get us a grant for 10,000 for 3-way cameras and uniforms. So we're really off to a great start with this program. But within that, I do want to keep a closer tab on the expenditures so we know what we're looking at, and so we can look at all the money that we've pulled in, plus all the money in holes and upcoming costs that we may have. So I think it would be important for us to break off for the first time and start their own constabulary bank account, pull those money out of general, look at the expenses that we paid out of general already, and just have those numbers at a quicker glance for us to manage. So with that, I would like to make a motion to set up a dedicated constabulary bank account.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'm happy to second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. I would additionally like to make a motion to make myself a signer, the deputy supervisor, Frank Monteleone, supervisor, or signer, excuse me, and Jason Sarnoff as signer as well.
I'll make that motion too.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Budget letters have gone out to the emergency services, to the library, and anybody that has a budget that they set outside of the town in highway general budgets. I do want to clarify something as well. Within the budget letter, it was defined that the LoSAP program needs to be included in the fire department and ambulance budgets. But all that means we're not asking them to pay for something additional. It was suggested by Cooper Arias that we show the LoSAP payments in the actual total budget. So we're not asking them to supplement anything. We're just asking for full transparency so that the public knows what they voted for back in 2011 for the LoSAP program. The clerks and our actuary and the fire chiefs and everybody involved with emergency services and the captains and the president of the Highland Ambulance, everybody's been working very, very hard to really clean up the LoSAP program. For anybody who doesn't know, LoSAP stands for Length of Service Program. It's something that was implemented originally in 2005. They backdated it to 1999. So it's basically an award program for volunteers who aren't compensated for volunteering for the fire department and for the ambulance. Most of the ambulance workers have moved off of LoSAP because they are paid and compensated hourly in most cases. I think we only have about 5 volunteers at this point, and it's mostly a paid operation, and we're doing really wonderful doing that. But the fire department, both of them, Highland Lake and Ulen, are still volunteered. So this is our token of appreciation that we give to them. But we just want to be transparent. We want to know what it looks like, what the total cost of each program is, so that there are no hidden numbers in our budget. Right now, it's just sort of tied in with insurance and workers' comp and other things. So we're just going to break that out. But it's in no way asking the departments for anything else. It's no decrease in any of their budgets. We've been going back and forth. There was calls to the accountant and she was confused as to why she was receiving those. So we're going to send around the diagram that she sent out to us internally just to show them what it'll physically look like on the budgets moving forward. So I just wanted to make that clarification. Additionally, Linda Anderson's service points need to be corrected for the Highland Ambulance Service per PEMFLEX. So I would like to make a motion to make that correction for Linda Anderson's service points via PEMFLEX for the Highland Ambulance Service and her work on that ambulance service long serving. Do I have that motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor? All opposed? Any abstentions?
I like to abstain.
Okay. Thank you, so moved. Frank and Chris, can you please give us an update on your insurance committee meeting?
Sure, we met with the insurance provider. Broker, we, as many of you know, we have to update every year to just make sure that we're not over insuring in some places and under insuring in others. So Frank and I met with Chris, who's our broker. And we're still in the process of making sure that the amounts that we're insuring for are accurate. It looks like we might have overinsured in some places. And it looks like we may have underinsured in other places, like in the highway department, back to Guilford. And so we are just doing this to be calibration and making, just so that we're not overpaying if we don't need to, but also so that we don't increase our liability in any way. We found out after the meeting, that we can do this virtually, even though we enjoyed meeting the fellow in person and had a nice conversation, but we'll be doing this in the future in a little bit more of a rapid way. More frequently. I don't know if you had.
No, yeah, we pretty much understand what's pretty much out, it's the contents, like we took a building and shook it upside down. What are those values? And some of the values were extremely high, like in town hall that we were insuring, but then again, the highway department was kind of low. So we recognize that and we're in the process of getting that cleaned up, so.
The other thing is that even if we are underinsuring, learn that if something happens, we're covered to the full amount. So we're insured for about $7.5 million. And so even if we had, God forbid, an accident or something that happened inside the highway department, we still would be able to cover it, but it just means that we're not accurate in how it goes.
Well, next month I'll be giving you a. Anyway.
That'll help.
The big thing with the vehicles, whatever ones we got rid of,
So what was on, just.
we're gonna, we'll ahead.
Yeah.
Great, that leads me to the Ullin Gateway sign. So we have insurance on all of our signage, right? And so we basically turned in a claim. The total claim insurance was for $5,000. We have quotes for $4,000 from our contractors to remediate the sign. And replace it with something that's in line with all the other gateway signs, but still honors the tradition of Ullin. We had a couple of residents, who I will not name right now, who really wanted the Laurel Hamlet inclusion there because as many of you know, Ullin in Japanese means laurel. So they went with the Japanese phrase, and that's where the town or the hamlet of Ullin's name comes from. So they wanted to just add to Doreen's design that we shared last month with that moniker included. But she's come up with a really wonderful sign. Her and Nicole from Finehand have done an amazing job kind of redoing our signs since 2000. I've been working with them since 2017 when we got our first gateway sign project, which was the former business directory in Berryville. It used to be like one of those old Catskills map that had all the businesses there. During the pandemic, we kind of fell out of favor where people didn't have the extra money for advertising and somebody else swooped in. And now it's kind of more of a art project at this point that has a couple businesses featured, but no longer part of the sign. But the Berryville sign was the first of all the updates to those hamlets gateway signs. And then we've been able to work with Sullivan 180 to fund the signs all along. So I was really excited, although the sign was destroyed in the storms over the 4th of July, that we would potentially be covered under our insurance. Our insurance has this very strange provision in it that it has to be within 1,000 feet of a town building. And so we really went for a long stretch here because we have a relationship with St. Anthony's Parish Center to be our storm shelter and charging station and cooling station. He said, hey, doesn't this count? We have individual insurance on this thing and it's within 1,000 feet. What can we do here? They turned us down last week. So I took a look at our finances and specifically at our buildings department finances, and we're doing really well. So we have $425,000 in grants right now for our highway budget that we're looking to, be recompensated for, based on the grant programs. We have $75,000 coming in for the town hall technology and town hall, conference room grant. We have 250 at the courthouse. And we have 100 at the Highland Health Initiative, building site. So we've been spending out of this. Some of these, if you look at the profit and loss budget versus actual, identify, we basically still have 179,750 left of our budgets. Which, we've only spent $17,254 on personal services, which are hourly employees who cut the grass, who assist with our contractors on some of the work, and really do a lot of wonderful maintenance and cleaning of our buildings. So I feel like we're in a pretty wonderful position. Total savings in our New York class account is $3,585,832, which is more than our town budget. Sarah, do you have to leave? Yep. You don't have to go yet, okay. But so we have, more than our town budget available in just our general savings account. In our general budget. With Jeff Bank. We have a lot of money, but I can't. See this? Anybody go up?
And Zoom has been going in and out all night, so there's some connectivity issues.
Okay, so in our Jeff Bank general account, we have $364,968.70. So to my mind, I don't want to spend money on things we don't have or haven't budgeted for, but because we do have a pretty boisterous grant program going on and we've been pretty great about staying within budgets, I would like to propose that we replace the Union Hamlet sign at a cost of $4,000, working with Doreen Warner and Nicole from Fine Hand Signs, to replace the Union Hamlet sign. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Excited to get that sign up in Newland.
I have a question.
Sure.
What's gonna happen to the old side?
It's
And-
demolished.
Yeah, we just have the welcome, and then I think the Ewan part broke off, and I think it was just cleared. I'm not sure what's there now. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, it just says, it doesn't.
It's
Yeah, I don't know what it had. Yeah, I'm not sure.
a
What
lot
I
of
was-
a lot of the signs that have come down in disrepair were sold during the treasures and trinkets sale as a way to support the library, their deficit.
So some of that was sold, you said it was sold,
Yeah.
the portions of it.
The Ulan, the Laurel Hamlet sign was sold.
Yeah. As a donation to the library.
Do you know who ended up with it?
I'm not telling that.
Okay. I thought maybe we could go stare in their yard.
No.
All right.
The signs went to some very happy homes.
Yeah, but we'll be actioning the sign. We'll put a picture of the proposed sign. We are gonna make the changes to add the Laurel Hamlet on there. So we will put that on the town board website as soon as we get that rendering from Doreen and Nicole. Website and technology, Frank, can you tell us about the payroll checking system?
Last meeting, I indicated that they doubled the price on the tracking for going through our payroll provider, ADP, so I did speak with them and I said that wasn't acceptable, we would be looking elsewhere. But about a week later, they called back and decided to add this $10 per pay period, which
They won't back down.
it back down, and it was something I think we should go with, and the fact that it's part of ADP with our payroll and includes all the employees as far as pricing other time tracking software, this is the right way to go. So, once we get it implemented, there'll be a quick training. Laura and I are gonna get on with them and get all the employees set up. It's more of a tracking and location type of system. So, you know, anybody working in town hall or on any of the town properties, it's just a record of where they are in case they ever needed it for, you know, if somebody claimed they were somewhere, this proves where they are. It also protects the town too. So if someone's not here, we also have record that they're not here and they might have been someplace else. So it's as far as our grant programs and allocating monies and different locations and what, you know, time is being spent on, it's a very powerful tool that will integrate with our existing payroll system.
And it's really helpful too, like you said, like when we're working on our grant programs to track hours, even with like our maintenance staff that join and jump on those projects. But also, you know, from time to time, we've had questions about, you know, positions that are supposed to be hourly that have been moved to salary just over time, you know, just out of familiarity. But like this will give us like a real world approach. Also, we go through these painstaking sessions where people report their retirement as mandated by the state, and we don't have a true reflection of those hours, and so they go back 2 to 3 years sometimes and just fill in their hours and try to look in when they were working, and it's not efficient. So to have a digital kind of capture of all that is pretty wonderful for the costs that we're at, and also the reliability that people are not is pretty great. So thank you for taking that on. I really appreciate that. Do I have a motion to implement the payroll clock-in system from ADP at a cost of $89 a month?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Hi.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. We are in the midst of planning our September 11th memorial on September 11th. It's Friday. That'll be at 6 p.m. I'm talking to local clergy and some guest speakers, and I'm really excited that we're going to have Joseph show up in town hall. I think it'll be a really beautiful event, and we look forward to inviting everybody in to commemorate the extreme loss and recovery of our country. So I hope you all can attend. That'll be at 6 p.m. on September 11th. Yes.
In his absence, I can say that I spoke with him today. And he was planning to meet with Andy Boyer to cover some of the details. And we agree on what, there's a problem that we see that we'd like to nip in the bud. We'd like to remind the public that it is a memorial park. It is the solemn nature of the park should be respected. It's not a playground, it's not a picnic park. It is the honor of those who gave 100% to the loyalty of the country. They contains a piece of steel from 9/11 towers. So therefore, planting fundraiser signs around the periphery of the park, we appreciate that would be avoided. And the solemnity of the nature of the park being respected. Right? And being as we now have 3 members of the committee, including yours truly, we're discussing the possibility of maybe formalizing a committee of the floor, by perhaps electing a chairman, but that remains to be seen.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you very much for that. At this time, I'd like the motion to enter into executive session for the purposes of discussing confidential employment matters and procedures. Do I have that motion? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Hi.
Aye. Do I have a motion?
And
Do I have a
we'll
motion
meet.
to return
We'll
to
figure it out.
executive
It was
session
nice to
for
meet you.
8:26?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second? I'll second it. Okay, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. So no decisions were made, during our executive session. We're drafting memos. For internal use for our, personal staff in town hall. Do I have a motion to pay the general abstract number 8? Oh, sorry, actually, we have to go back. We need to talk about the Growing Soul application.
Yeah.
I had the opportunity to speak with everybody individually. Except for Chris, sorry, we did talk about it before, the Growing Souls application. So, basically, we are passed through, it's her grant process with the DEC requires, a town municipality sponsorship. We started the program with her, which was originally intended for here. The DEC awarded $70,000 to implement educational programs, and tours. And then in receipt, we will receive fertilizer, and our school will receive educational programs about composting and things of that nature. And reviewed this with Frank DeMeo from Liberty, who was the last sponsor of the program. He let us know a pretty easy process that is okay with the DEC for cutting checks. Once the DEC reimburses, the checks are cashed by Jessica and Growing Souls, who is a nonprofit 501(c)(3). We've been talking to Jessica for over a year and a half about this program. So I would like to make a motion that we accept the Growing Soul proposal for the DEC grant for composting educational purposes for $70,000. Do I have a motion?
We have some additional information on that before we vote.
I've
Sure.
submitted that.
Hmm?
I've submitted that, and then she came and presented at the last
No,
meeting.
is she gonna be doing any,
No, it no longer involves this space.
Yeah, we're not gonna use the
It
highway.
no longer involves
land.
the highway department, it no longer involves this space. The Haas machine, where the majority of the composting will be done, will be offsite on private property. The school already has a relationship with Jessica where they've brought people from Eldred to the private property for the implementation of the program and educational purposes. And then the only thing that we're really getting, or the recipient of, is the fertilizer output.
Yeah.
That's something that Frank said, make sure to get your fertilizer,
Mhm.
kind of have to push the hand there.
Yeah, the town
We
gardens.
Do that, we have a lot of gardeners and farmers in town, and I feel like that's all we're getting. I want it, I think it's a really good thing to get. And the farmer's market's already really excited about it. And she also agreed to increase the visibility of the composting and messaging at
The
the
transfer.
transfer station, because I don't know if you, like I said before, if you guys have ever looked for that composting area, it's not very well marked, or it's not executed very well, so she's also gonna try to get some input there as well. So
Yeah,
do I?
it won't be on
Is
land
there any more discussion?
as far as our involvement with the clerks, what will they have to just issue the checks?
Yeah, so Laura will be still the grant lead on it.
Yeah.
So what she does is she submits receipts, work hours, all those things to Laura. Laura submits it to the DEC through the SFS portal.
Yeah.
SFS will then send it to the DEC. They will then meet, the council, they'll approve the costs, and then I think it's in 4 or 5 payments, 4 payments.
I think it's 3. It's less now.
Okay,
Because it was a larger grant,
Yeah.
240,000, it's 3 payments. The town clerk, Sonia and Melissa, won't have to really have any hands on.
they will just have to cut checks based on,
We'll put a check request
need-
in, and it's an uncashed check.
yeah, so they physically get a scan of the check to know that we're good for the money. We have to show proof of funds, which we're fine with. And then once we're reimbursed for it, that's when we can either cancel the check or cut a new check to Jessica and give the funds to her for that.
Yeah. Thank you for the explanation.
Are there any other questions about the program? Okay, do I have a motion to accept the proposal from Growing Soul for their composting educational program?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right,
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. So I have a motion to pay general, oh, and
Yeah,
sorry.
sorry, I have one last thing I forgot.
Code department.
Yeah, I'm trying to get better at this and I always forget to share with the public that we have monthly permits that we've collected from 7/1/2026 to 7/31/2026. There are 20 permits, including additions to residential, septics, a swimming pool, electrical, roofs, new roofs, solar panels on a home. And that brings us about $6,608 for the July period. Now we're done.
Thank you, Laura.
Now we can pay the bill.
Frank, you have anything on the report from the building?
No, everything's good, a lot of roofs going on.
Lot of roofs,
No.
lot of roofs.
I really appreciate the coordination with the code department and like that they're meeting with you more and asking you for advice. I've also told them, you know, they still do work with Fusco.
Right.
And so I really would like them to rely on Fusco's expertise a little bit more, in addition to Frank, and Frank's got a full-time job and puts in extra hours per person, so we want them to, you know, revisit that relationship as well. But I do think that we are certified with our full, code enforcers, and, they're both doing great, and, you know, going to continuing education, all kinds of other things. Thank you for all your work there. Their motion to pay general abstract number 3/2026, claims 342 to 285 in the amount of $89,066.90.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second? I'll second. Okay, all in favor?
Hi.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, so moved. Do I have a motion to pay highway abstract 8/2026, claims 99 through 111 in the amount of $308,256.09?
Make that,
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, Frank.
Okay, all in favor?
Hi.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Do I have a motion to pay Eldred Streetlights 7/2026, claim 7 in the amount of $141.40? Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Hi.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Second is Frank. Cool. Okay, resolution, the town of Highland, the town board meeting on August 11, 2026, introduced and passed the following resolution. Whereas modifications are required with the 2026 general budget, now therefore be it resolved that the following budgetary transfers be made to the 2026 general budget. From 960 appropriations, A 1990.4 contingency for $6,942. A 10.1 zoning board personal services, $747. To A 960 appropriations, A 7410.4 library contractual, $100. A 8020.1 planning board personal services, $747. And A 9015.8 BFIS fireman pension for $6,842 for a total of $7,689. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Hi.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Do I have a motion to conclude the general meeting and adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll
we
second
have
it.
Public comment is at the end of the meeting.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
All
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved.